sloppy. Was that the case today, or was it more so the rebounding margin, you think, for you guys?
It was a little bit of both. I mean, we had some good looks, especially there in the first half, that we just didn't make. But then we didn't do a great job of following the scout report, which I'll take responsibility for that, because I've got to make sure that they're dialed in and prepared. A few of their players did exactly what we knew they were going to do, and we just weren't. I don't know if we weren't prepared for it, if we didn't know it was coming or what. But we didn't do a very good job defensively in a few situations.
Jeff, Michael McCammon from Cardinal Authority. What's the message to the team in the locker room? I imagine obviously they got their heads down.
Together. How hard is it for this group when you're getting defensive stops, but you're not getting that rebound that you such a need?
Okay, Coach, did you get Cameron? You go, and then Michael, please.
Okay, yeah, Coach. When NC State's building a lead in that third quarter and that second half, and you get a stop, but then you give up the offensive rebound, how hard is it to keep them going? When I imagine that's just kind of a backbreaker for you all.
It's a backbreaker. No, it's really a backbreaker for sure. I mean, we'd come up with a big defensive possession and then just not finish the play out, which we have to continue to grow and learn from. We've got to do a better job of that. It was just a bad game. It was not one of our best performances at all, and that's what we talked to the players about in the locker room here after the game, was about what are we going to be defined as? Are we going to get back to work and improve the areas we have to improve on, or are we going to hang our heads and allow one bad game turn into two, then turn into three, then turn into four? So we talked about that, and I've got a very resilient group in there that is ready to get back to work.
Jeff, Michael McCammon, Cardinal Authority, you kind of answered my question there. I was wondering what the reaction was in the postgame, but you mentioned obviously a kind of a quick turnaround for you guys. How easy do you think it will be for them to forget this game, or do you want them to?
Well, you don't want to just forget it, because like I talked to them afterwards, I wanted to make sure that we learn from it. You have to learn from it. You just can't say, hey, forget it, it didn't happen, because it took place. So we've got to be able to build on the things that we did not do well and get better. And then look at our half-court execution, both offensively and defensively, and then make improvements before we go up to Boston College here on Thursday. Tim, you're on mute.
I wasn't. Oh, I'm back. I wonder how much you anticipated the rebounding would be an issue coming into the game, and was there anything that you saw that gives you hope that you can narrow that gap?
Oh yeah, I mean we have some, we had a lot of things, and some there's plenty of hope out there. We've just got to get more physical. We were allowing them to get too close to the basket, and then we attempted to box out. So a few of those shots went over our head, where we've got to push back and rebound the ball in front of us. It's one of the things I've talked about is our guards are going to have to continue to get more aggressive on the boards. Elizabeth and O had 7 and 9 each. We've got Haley with 4. But I got to get everybody else is going to have to get in there and mix it up, because there are going to be a lot of rebounds to be gotten. And our guards are going to have to continue to get in there and embrace the physicality of the game.
Jeff, it kind of felt like that the turnovers you guys had tonight were really untimely. It seems like you would force one on the defensive end and then get on the fast break and give it right back. Just kind of how killer were those situations where you could have maybe gotten a run going on some of those plays?
Well, we had a few there in the first half too, where we had gotten it back to like a 2-point game, and where it got a nice stop, and then we turn it over coming down the floor. And we'll pull those out and we'll show them. this is where execution has to happen. We've been fortunate in a few ball games that we haven't executed well, but we've been able to pull it out at the end. Unfortunately, a team like NC State, you're not going to be able to do that.
Jeff Sullivan again. I wanted to ask about the lineup you went with Elizabeth and Olivia to start again. Is this going to be a standard look as you face bigger teams, or are you still experimenting?
No, we'll go with those two most likely for most of our ball games. I put Kiana Smith in the starting lineup today because Elizabeth Balagoon had not been feeling well, had a little food poisoning, was not at our shoot around today or anything like that. But then she said she felt better this afternoon. So it was a game time decision, and she said she was able to go, and I was very proud of her because, with the way she looked this morning, to be able to bounce back and play, I was really pleased.
Jeff.
Go ahead, Cameron.
Okay, this Cameron again. When you mentioned you have a pretty young group, how do you kind of rally them and not let this stumble into a bad run for you all in the last month of the season? Well,
we play on Thursday. You can't let this turn into 2, 3, 4 games in a row. I've got competitors. I got kids that compete, so I'm really not worried about that. It's probably more so on the other side of them wanting to do so well that they try so hard, and sometimes you can try so hard that it's a detriment to your team. So I think it's going to be more so just really working on half-court execution so we can take advantage when opportunities present themselves.
Well, a quick follow-up to that. You're back on your Sunday, Thursday schedule. Does it help having more time than playing a Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday like you were in January? Or would you rather?
For sure. Because it's going to give us some more opportunity to practice. We need some time to clean some things up at the offensive end and defensive end. And practice will help with that. Now, we're not going to get a whole bunch here before we head up to Boston College since it's a Monday game today. But we will get at least one day of prep and one day of really being able to iron things out and hopefully see some improvements for Thursday.
Jeff, you talked about offensive execution. How much of that is just patience sometimes, because you've got so many players that are so skilled, they can make a play and have a good chance of scoring, but against a really good team might not be the best play.
Yeah, that's all a part of it, Eric, and we talked about that. They're all very talented. They're skilled, and everybody wants to do so well that sometimes we're just not patient enough. But I'd rather have that than have players that can't make plays. So now it's just a matter of getting it back, showing some game film, showing areas that we did things well, showing some places we have to improve. But more importantly, we've just got to get better at the defensive end.
Anything else for Coach?
Hey, Coach, Doug Feinberg. Sorry I'm
What's
late.
up, Doug? How's that snow up there?
It's about 18 inches. So, beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I hope you got a shovel.
I'm in the city. We don't have to worry about shoveling. People do that for us. So I apologize if you've been asked this already, but I'm just curious. Was it their defense, your offense? Like, what was the problem tonight for you guys scoring?
Well, in the first half especially, we missed some open looks. We had some great looks that we were just not able to knock down, and that really affected our tempo. And then in the second half, I thought they just did a really nice job offensively, which gave us problems. We cut the lead back to 5 going into the fourth quarter. and had the ball starting off, and we're hoping to get a score, stop, score, and we just couldn't come up with that. But we had some good looks.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Doug. And give NC State all the credit in the world. They played really well tonight. They played hard. They played physical, and they're a really good basketball team. No question about it.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, everybody.